So,
thank you, Madam Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests. When I say, are you wearing blinders? You're going to look at me. You're going to say, what crazy thing is Verlin talking about now? Well, a year ago, I found out that I was diagnosed with psoriasis. Has anyone ever heard of that, or by a raise of hands, or know what I'm talking about? And since I'm not a doctor, although I have stayed at a Holiday Inn Express, I have somebody else's definition here because I don't have MD after my name. And psoriasis is a medical condition that occurs when the skin cells grow too quickly. Faulty cycles in the immune system cause the new cells to form in days rather than weeks. The body tends not to shed these excess cells, so the cells sort of pile up on the surface of the skin and lesions form. So that's always exciting because life is hard enough as it is when you don't get thrown any curveballs. Let me tell you, that's a curveball, because have you ever had something that you're dealing with and you figure, you know, if I don't pay attention to it, maybe it will go away. I'm obviously not the only person who has tried to that level of logic and reasoning to attempt to deal with the problem. Well, I found this out, and for those of you who don't know that I tend to work in retail, I'm a cashier right now. That's not my end all, but you know, you got to pay the bills somehow. And all of a sudden, when you have short sleeve shirts on, and all of a sudden you're doing your things, you're cashiering, you're handling groceries, even though psoriasis is not contagious, isn't it weird how people tend to sort of flip out about stuff all of a sudden that isn't normal? Because I can tell, literally, I've seen people, I'm just like doing my thing, and people will come up to my lane, look at me, and then scurry over to the next lane. And I'm just sort of looking like, okay, hang on, yeah, I took a shower today. So that's exciting, and then we had to go from wearing short sleeve shirts at work to everybody thinks I'm a boss now because I have to wear this long sleeve shirt to cover it up when I'm there so people don't flip out about it. And people go, oh, are you a boss now? I'm going, well, I must not be a boss because I still leave sometimes in the same day. I'm sure David can probably relate to that. So I know I'm not a boss. But it's really weird how all of a sudden that things you take for granted, like when it's summertime and you're wearing short sleeve shirts, and you have to wear a long sleeve shirt normally when you tend to work hard during an 8-hour period and you sort of feel like you've been to the workout or the gym or a sauna after about the 5th hour. Let me tell you, that's not too much fun, and it's hard enough when you're dealing with just normal stuff to deal with the heat. But what do I mean by, are you wearing blinders? Well, even before I found out about the psoriasis, isn't it amazing how when you're in a day, you come in, have blinders on. What are you usually thinking about? Your problems, what you're dealing with. Maybe you're thinking about, you know, I wish there was a little bit more numbers in that bank account of mine. That would sure help. Maybe you're dealing with some personal stuff. Who knows? I'm sure maybe something's hurting. I know usually everyone tends to have that. So you tend to deal with that, and you have the blinders on, and you're paying attention to your problems, and you tend to believe that you're the only person that has that. Sorry, can't you think of any other word that's appropriate? All that crap that you're dealing with. So all of a sudden, then you do take the blinders off, and you start talking to other people, and you realize in some cases there are people out there who have it a lot worse than you do. I can think of, for example, one of my friends at work who all of a sudden has an amazing attitude. Have you ever wanted to ask them, like, borrow their microchip in their brain, take it out, and so you can put their attitude in your brain? Because when you have the challenges that you tend to deal with, because one of my coworkers, she always says, don't dwell on stuff, don't dwell on stuff, don't dwell on stuff. And then recently she started walking around, and I know she's having problems with the back because she's starting to do that. And you can almost imagine, it's like, okay, if I'm hurting, how bad is it for her to have to take 5 extra steps? So maybe if I'm helping her doing something, I can come out from the register and sort of meet her a couple extra steps. So maybe it's a little extra less pain. And people appreciate that. Another one of my coworkers, I know, sometimes I know she sort of has to excuse herself because her stomach just absolutely drives her nuts, and it totally shuts her down, and I can't imagine what that's like. Or another coworker, I think that some days I'm hurting, like, have you ever had the day all of a sudden, like, your foot decides to say hello to you? Maybe your knee, maybe your back, who knows? And I know a coworker of mine is dealing with a lot worse pain than I'm dealing with. Or maybe even another coworker. I know all the time she's dealing with cell phone calls, and just, you know, it's like, okay, what are my kids into now? And it's just absolutely, it's like, okay, do you need a hug? Yeah, I need a hug. Okay, I can tell you need a hug. Just all the crazy stuff. So my challenge for you today is whatever you're dealing with, and I know each and every single person in this room is dealing with something, is tomorrow to walk in, and instead of going, oh, my problems, take off your blinders. It's hard, it's not easy. And it won't help you deal maybe with the problems that life has in store, but I can guarantee you it'll help you enjoy the day just a little more.